after a long-awaited return, and by that I mean if I was able to drag Chitter off whatever she was doing to help record the episode, we're back with another episode of the only D&D podcast that matters, Forgotten Table Tales. I am your host, Garson, your DM with the mostest, and with me is my co-DM in all things, Chitter Charmer. Chitter?
Hello there.
All right, folks, we're going to just quickly go over a lot of things that you probably have been wondering about. Number one, where have we been for the last 5 weeks?
Midterms suck.
Well, that's the answer for one of them. But,
2 of them.
Okay, for 2 of them. Well, okay, for the other 3, it's just been, we have been, I don't really have a whole lot of excuses as to where we've been. Oh, just got to remember to turn this off real quick. Not that. Hang on. There. Gotta turn that chat box off, so didn't realize we left that on. Alright, but no, to be honest.
Good.
But to be honest, we've had like a lot of problems. We've been trying to schedule episodes recording for a long time, and we are still behind because technically we were supposed to record this on Sunday, but I got sick, so we couldn't record it. We were going to record it on Monday, but I was still sick, so we decided to do something else. Today we're feeling fit and fine, and we are ready to record our episodes, and hopefully we can finally get through the last of the subclasses of the book we've been reviewing, because, I don't know if you realize this, we're in the middle of spooky season, and we've been reviewing the spooky book, and I would really much like to go into the spooky elements of the book, but we haven't been able to do that because we're still on the subclasses, so I'm gonna so tonight in honor of returning back to Forgotten Table Tales, we're gonna go through all 5 of the remaining classes. Yes, we're reviewing all 5 of them, Chitter. We're not leaving until we're done because we have to. Chitter. Chitter, no. You know why we're doing this. We would have been done by now had life not got in the way. So we're gonna fix that tonight. Chitter, no meh. You want to play Pokemon? You can play Pokemon afterwards, but we gotta get through these classes.
Fine.
Hey, look, we go through them, we can play Pokemon afterwards on stream, I promise. But the meantime, before we get started, so tonight we're gonna be tackling the last 5 remaining classes. Fortunately, of course, the good news is that there's only 3 real classes to go over, because 2 of them are actually subsets of the same class, Wizard and Warlock, and the other one is just the Ranger Grim Harbinger. And I'll be honest, we can probably get through the Grim Harbinger in about maybe 15 minutes, because we really don't have a whole lot to talk about with that one. So let's just dive into it.
It's a relatively simple class. You are a ranger with a dog or a guardian spirit, if you will, and they really just make sure that you know that you're just there. You're just there. I really don't know how much. Yeah, like level 3 Omen of Doom, you can target a creature within 90 feet of you and
There we go. Now it's up. I didn't know I was going to set it up for, but yeah. So we're going to just dive into the subclass real quick. So yeah, as Chitter was saying, let's beat through the Ranger one at least.
Yeah, the spells, just really quickly, are Bane, Hold Person, Fear, Intrusive Despair, which is basically just attack and magic action. It must succeed on a Wisdom saving throw or waste its action. Once the target succeeds on 3 of those, the spell ends, or after a minute, so woohoo. And then Dream. So this really is just a class that's focusing on the Harbinger side of it, your spirit.
Right, so let's dive into the first ability.
Yeah. Omen of Doom.
Alright, so, Omen of Doom, level 3. For those of you, let me read this real quick. As a bonus action, you can target a creature you see within 90 feet of you and magically seal its doom for 1 hour. Once per turn, when you hit the doom target with an attack, it takes 1d6 extra necrotic damage. In addition, a ghostly creature called the Grim appears in an unoccupied space for 30 feet of the target. Grim most often appears as black spectral hounds, but you can choose the appropriate appearance to its stat block, so you're not limited to just dogs. The Grim is friendly to you and allies. That's good. It obeys your commands, also good. Advantages if you die, not as good. When the doomed creature dies, not as good again. And when it's reduced to 0 hit points, Or when you use this feature again, so you can summon another one. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your wisdom modifier, minimum once, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a short or long rest. You can also expend a spell slot to restore an expended use. No action required.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I do have to say, this is a Ranger Steel Defender. Just gonna say that flat out. This is a Ranger Steel Defender.
I don't really play that much Ranger. To be honest, Ranger has been like the class where
Yeah, I was kind of more referring to an Artificer class. The Steel Defender is kind of like this. It's a Ranger version of it with some added twists to it that I'm not sure I like particularly. But then again, I'm someone who watches Critical Role, and I've seen how Fern handled Mister and him always being around despite not always being in combat. So it's kind of a part of my French comme ci comme ça.
You gonna follow up with that sentence? You just said that you didn't say anything after that.
Yeah, it's a comme ci comme ça.
Okay. What does that mean, Chitter?
It basically just means it is what it is. Like, it's not great, it's not bad. It's just comme ci comme ça.
Oh, okay. Well,
look, I grew up in a French home. Piss off.
I guess, but like I've never heard anyone describe it like that ever. Okay, well, yeah. On top of that, like the Grim has actions in combat. It can move. It has reactions. The only action you can take is the dodge action, unless you take a bonus action to command it to take an action, and then basically you can make an attack. It's fine, honestly. Rangers is one of those classes where, I'll be honest, Rangers has had such a problem with their identity. I don't know if they're the range DPS or they're supposed to be the pet class or what they're supposed to be. And I feel like this doesn't really do much to help its problems in that regard. So we're going to move on to the next ability then because it's just fine. Harbinger of Doom. You control your Doom, grow stronger, gain the following benefits. So it's your ability increases. Graveyard Hunter, the Grim's Ominous Rend action, deals an extra 1d6 necrotic damage on a hit. Okay, pretty good. When you deal damage...
Not terrible.
No, I think it stacks, actually. I think it's up to 2d6s of necrotic damage at this point, which is pretty nice.
Yeah, and then Mortal Reminder, when you deal damage to a creature doomed by your Omen of Doom, you can change the damage to necrotic. That is actually really good.
Oh, and necrotic damage dealt by you or the Grim ignores resistances. So basically, you just bypass all resistances at that point.
Yeah, so that I actually really like, because that gets around something that around level 7 you'll start to run into, which is non-magical resistances.
Mm-hmm.
And that basically goes, yeah, about that, no.
Well, no, and I like that it basically guarantees that your damage is always going to hit for full, because you basically bypass the resistance to necrotic damage, and then you deal only necrotic damage, which is good. I think they would have to have like a total immunity at that point, because I think it doesn't remove the immunity of it, but what are the odds of that happening?
No. Yeah, as a DM, you'd have to get more creative, which I like when abilities force the DM to be more creative instead of just turning a player character into a damage sponge.
Okay, so that's basically good. I like these are all good, and then at level 11 we get more ability upgrades. Grave Bond.
Yeah. So basically, your Grim gains non-magical and magical bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing resistance. You gain resistance to necrotic, and you can take a reaction to force a save at disadvantage. Which honestly, that's pretty nice. And I like how it's not tied to a proficiency bonus or anything for that particular one. You just have to use it on a different Omen of Doom, which honestly I like. It ties into your ability. You have to use your ability to use other abilities. Looking at you, Crimson Sorcery.
Oh, wait a minute. I thought you were so happy about that earlier. What changed?
I have my opinions about it. I like it, but there's but there is definitely some things that could be changed.
Oh, I wish I had the popcorn emote right now, because we had a whole episode where you're like, "It's fine, Garson. Don't worry about it. It's not that bad of a skill." And then when I brought it up, I think everyone is ranting at me in the comment section. Why is he ranting about the blood? Well, I'll tell you why. Because once again, if your entire class revolves around an ability and you get one charge of it, and you either have to do a long rest or 10 points of damage in a single attack, make sure you can stack them. That's all I was going to say on that regard. And that's still my stance on it. But I agreed.
And then finally, Sealed Fate, which is Jaws of Doom, which is extra damage on the Ominous Rend.
Mm-hmm.
And then, oh,
Marked for death.
hello.
Ooh, okay. This one
Hello
might be good.
When you use Omen of Doom, you can force the target to make a Charisma saving throw against your spell save DC. On a failed save, until this current one ends, the target has vulnerability to the damage dealt by the Grim and to the extra damage you deal with Omen of Doom. Once you use this benefit, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest. You can also restore your use of it by expending a 4th level spell slot.
That seems fair. I mean, that's pretty fair because it says until they, yeah, because, okay, hold on. So, okay, so until how long does current Omen of Doom last again? I think it lasts for an hour?
Omen of Doom, it's magically sealed Doom for 1 hour, yeah.
Oh, wow, so this could be, like, you could land that on if you land that on a boss, that pretty much guarantees you're going to be the main damage dealer for that entire fight. I mean, obviously, they still got to fail the saving throw, but Charisma's one of those ones where unless you're fighting a spellcaster or a paladin, I don't really think you got to worry about but then again, that's the other thing I realize, because your two main stats have to be Wisdom and Charisma, because Wisdom is for the Omen effect, and then Charisma is for the Mark of Death.
No, you're forcing the target to make a Charisma saving throw against your spell save DC.
Oh, okay. So never mind. I take that back. That actually makes things a little bit more interesting. And the fact that you can restore it with the 4th level spell slot, that's fine. Again, depending on how you range your build, you probably really aren't using spell slots that often. You're probably going to be using them as a secondary resource. And spell slot, and okay, what's like a 4th level spell that a ranger would want to use? Because I can't really think of any.
Let me just take a brief look at their spell list, because because I mean, no point in remembering when Google is your friend. Well, it's not actually your friend. You know what I mean. There's Guardian of Nature. There's only 8 spells. There's Conjure Woodland Beings, which is a conjuring spell.
Well, you wouldn't want that one because you want your Grim, and that's kind of like, unless you want 2 creatures at the same time.
Dominate Beast.
That one I can see being used.
Yeah, but like here and there. Freedom of Movement.
Does that
you get unaffected by difficult terrain, and spells or magical effects can neither reduce the speed nor cause the target to be paralyzed or restrained. So that one I think you'd want.
I think that
then there's Grasping Vine. Okay, cool. That's or be pulled 20 feet directly towards the vine. Get the fuck over here. Guardian of Nature is the spirit one. Locate Creature, which is I know where the fuck you are. You would probably want that one. Stone Skin, which is basically just you gain resistance to non-magical bludgeoning and piercing and slashing damage, so you become your Grim basically, and then Summon Elemental. And the amount of spell slots that a ranger would have, because this is a 2024 ranger,
right?
So, yeah, so it's not the old one. So this is, what level do you get this build? Level 15.
Yeah. So you should be you should have access to like 5th level spell slots at that point.
15. No, you actually you don't get 5th level spells until level 17. But you do have 2 spell slots at level 15 for 4th level. And you have 4 for 1st, 3 for 2nd, and 3 for 3rd. So unless you absolutely need like a Guardian of Nature or a Locate Creature, which again, the Locate Creature I could see being a thing, but then again you have all the other spells that come with the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd level. Unless you're trapped in a corner, I could see you using that ability again.
Yeah, I would definitely. I would think that's a great fourth level spell. Let's just call it what it is. Mark for Death is a fourth level spell, but you get one for use of it every level. So technically speaking, you get at least 3 uses of it by level 15. I think that's pretty good actually for a fourth level investment.
Yeah, it's great. I love it personally.
I love it
I
too.
think this class is I think this class is very simple, but it does what it needs to do very well.
Now, before we go on to the next one, let's just quickly look over the Grim real quick. The Grim is a medium undead neutral character that looks like a dog. Its AC is 13 plus your Wisdom modifier. That's fine. HP is 5 plus 5 times your Ranger level, so that's pretty
That's
good.
And you know what? I respect that it's the ranger level because you know what? Some people might get upset at that, but for me it's like, yeah, that checks out.
It's pretty decent immunities: necrotic, frightened, grapple, petrified, poison, prone, and restrained. So it can't be prone, it can't be petrified. Or grappled.
Yeah. It can't be frightened, but it can be charmed. That's interesting.
Well, it is a dog, so like it would probably make sense that you could charm it. It does have 2 good traits. Incorporeal movement, it basically means that it can move through difficult terrain and other objects if it were difficult terrain. So basically, you can go through walls and stuff. That's pretty neat. But it will take force damage if it ends its turn inside an object. So you got to make sure you know you don't move it into a wall and have it stuck there. And
It can go through a wall. How big's the wall? I don't know. Let's find out. Go through, pupper.
I'm stuck. And then it also has shared fate. Add your proficiency bonus to any ability checks or saving throws. That's fine. Like, that's more useful later on than in the early game, but that's okay, a good trait. This is the thing I'm a little bit interested about, is actually the one attack it has, Ominous Rend. So you can use your bonus action to make it take an action. So you can basically use this ability as a bonus action, according to what I read. It's melee attack roll.
Wait a minute, Garson.
Yep.
There's something interesting about incorporeal movement that's different from other ones.
What's that?
It doesn't get shunted out.
So you mean that it doesn't like get pushed out of the object it's in?
Read it again. It only takes the force damage.
Okay, I mean that's fine, but like, what? Okay.
You could just pop it in the wall and be like, here, stick for a turn. 1d10 force damage, 5 plus 5 times your ranger level. Even at level 1, you could have it in a wall for a turn.
Actually, you get it at level 3, so it would be 5 plus 5 times 3, which means it would have a minimum of 30 hit points.
Yeah, so you could easily pop that in a wall for a turn or two.
Yeah, but what? So what?
No,
like use it for surprise attacks or something?
Or or if someone's trying to run away or whatnot, you could just like, oh, I can't get to them, and there's this wall in the way. I just go through the wall, and I'm not shunted out, so I don't lose my positioning.
I mean, that's pretty good. It's
because remember, most incorporeals say it's shunted out.
Oh yeah, I think it's okay. I think it's a good, but it's a situational okay. And then lastly, the Ominous Rend. So this is the attack that you can use as a bonus action on every one of your turns. You basically, because you can use your bonus action to command it to attack and use its action. And it's a melee attack roll, bonus equal to your spell attack modifier. It's a 5 feet to hit, 5 feet reach. On hit, it deals 1d6 plus 3 plus your wisdom modifier of necrotic damage. If the attack is a creature, it has the frightened condition until the start of your next turn. Oh.
There's no saving throw with that.
I know. It just has to hit.
Yeah.
Okay, so
and then Baleful Howl is just a sentinel feat.
So
for free.
Okay, and so basically at level 7 this becomes 2d6 of necrotic damage on hit. And then on 15 you get 3d6 of necrotic damage. You get the base one plus the 3 plus the wisdom modifier plus the 2d extra damage. That's pretty good for a bonus action attack.
Yeah, that I find really interesting, especially because you get Bane, which reduces 1d4 from attack rolls or saves. Hold Person for spells. Actually, the spells interesting. The spells play into the Grim quite well.
I think it's a good class. I don't think it's an amazing class, but like it's definitely above average. I would say that it's out of our flump scale, it's a solid 3.5 flumps, which means out of
This
5.
is this is yeah, this is one where the rememberability of it. Yes, I made up this word. I took English class. I can make up words.
You're a coder. You have no English skills.
Yeah, fair enough. But the rememberability of this class is going to come down to how you play its backstory, which I find fascinating. It gives you the roots. I like a subclass in a book, at least one of them, to be like this, because then it comes down to, okay, cool, you have the basics. Now, how do you play with those basics?
I also, one thing I know is that this doesn't have the table of potential backstories that you could have for a class like the others have. So I think they really want this to be open-ended. But I also like the fact that you can always make the Grim, it doesn't have to be a dog. Like, wouldn't you rather have something like a wolf or an elk or something that, like, is inconspicuous and tied into your backstory? The Grim is your backstory. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, how did you get this? Which I find really fascinating. They didn't need to make any other, like, here's potential backstories, because the Grim is the backstory, as you said.
Now, there is one major weakness to the Grim, and this is something I want to point out. It is an undead. So, for those of you who aren't aware what that means, clerics and paladins, you got an easy way to take out this class, because you have access to turn undead. And that means that you can instantly destroy this thing regardless of how much hit points it has. Now.
Oh, absolutely. But there is something really fascinating, though.
And what's that?
See, the thing is that you have a guardian spirit, which, you know, from how it looks in the image, it looks like you would have to do an investigation check to see that it's an undead. And when you're with a person like the ranger is, you wouldn't naturally think it's undead. So they would have to suss it out, which again, clerics could do because they have that high wisdom, thus higher insight, but they'd still have to waste time doing it.
Yeah, and not to mention, even if they do, most NPCs don't have turn undead. This is strictly if you're like going up against a PvP section. But because it does have that undead text, it is something to keep in mind about it. While it's a very minor thing, it does give the class one big glaring weakness, and that is, like, clerics are going to be like the obvious one that'll be able to fight against this character, because they typically do respond better to dealing with the undead, or paladins with like divine smite and radiant damage. But it doesn't have any weaknesses. It's just something to keep in mind when you make this as a class.
Yeah, like, it's something where, yeah, it that checks out. It's also, you're also a ranger, so you have your bow, you have your spells, you have other things at your disposal. Your Grim is not your only tool, but it's your main one. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, so it's like spell points for a sorcerer. It's not your main. It's your main tool to do all the bonus stuff that accesses your class, but it's not your main. It's not the only thing you have. And as someone who plays a lot of sorcerers, I can tell you that's basically it. That's basically all I wanted to say about the Grim. Grim Harbinger. It's a fine class, a good ranger class, but I mean, it's okay. It's not game breaking or anything. I think it's like right in the center of where it needs to be, and I like that.
Yeah, this is a ranger class that kind of, it's funny. It helps solidify the ranger identity a little bit as the class that no one can really pin to anything. And the ranger really is that. They're a mix of a druid and a fighter. They're not really meant to be one thing in particular. They're meant to be versatile.
Well, and that's a great way to end it. Speaking of versatility, let's talk about one of the most versatile classes in all of D&D, Warlocks. Or in this case, Clown Warlocks.
Hi, silly.
Oh, I wish. So, here we go. We have the Great Fool Patron Warlock. So, I'm going to be honest with you all. Warlocks are they are a very versatile class because their entire gimmicks can change depending on the pack or the patron or whoever they have as their who gives them patron abilities. If you have Pact of the
Oh yeah.
yeah. For example, Pact of the Chain lets you summon a familiar, and now you're a spellcaster with a familiar side. Pact of the Blade lets you become a melee caster in the middle, and allows you to summon any become proficient with any weapon. Pact of the Archfey lets you deal with druidic magic. This one is clowns. I don't know how I feel about that, but the thing is,
Garson, I have a genuine question for you.
Yeah.
If Crooked Moon had come out before I joined your first campaign, would you have made me go with this one?
I would have suggested it, but I would not have forced you to be it. However, the reason why I'm saying I am a little conflicted about this is the whole class is a joke. It's literally a joke. Okay, normally we don't go over the spell list, but we have to for this one, because you'll see exactly what I'm talking about when I say it. So, Great Warlock's Fool spells. You get Disguise Self, Hideous Laughter, Rope Trick, Spiritual Weapon, Vicious Mockery, Blink, Stinking Cloud, Phantasmal Killer, Arcane Hand, Mislead, and the new spell from this book, Puppet Master. All of these are basically spells, all of these are just basically spells to make you basically be an annoying-ass mime. Because everything is about all the spells are basically tied into the mime category.
Yeah, I won't say that you're wrong about that. But the really interesting thing is that this really is just a toolbox. Because I'm looking at this and I'm seeing like lesser cousin, but well,
you liar. Liar!
But also there's Disguise Self, there's Hideous Laughter, there's Spiritual Weapon, Vicious Mockery. That's a first level. That's a first hit of spells that at level 3 you have 2 spell slots up until level 11, which by the time you have more spell slots, you've already hit your max level of slot level anyway, so whatever. But this is a very interesting menagerie of tricks you have up your sleeve. But also, it's very versatile. Like, for example, Vicious Mockery is just straight up like, hi, you're going to have disadvantage, and it's a cantrip, so fuck you. Spiritual Weapon is basically, hi, I'm going to throw a weapon at you, and you can't do shit about it. Rope Trick is, I'm going to hide in a corner. Hideous Laughter is, you're going down now. And Disguise Self is, hey, we need to get in here. I can do that. And when we get to the bottom of Foolish Personas, you'll see what I mean by it's not just one big joke, but it's actually very fascinating. Especially since you at level 2 for Warlocks in 2024, you can perform an esoteric rite for 1 minute. At the end of it, you regain expended Pact Magic spell slots, but no more than equal to half your maximum round up.
And you know the other thing I noticed about this, and I think is kind of interesting, is that this is a patron, not a pact. Meaning that you could easily combine this with, like, Pact of the Blade, and then you have a clown that's like, you could turn into Shenko from League of Legends, where you're let's say you use Pact of the Blade, you have a pact bound with your daggers, and so you get their extra effects to them. I only have played Pact of the Blade in Baldur's Gate 3, so if I'm missing some stuff, just bear with me on that one, folks. But then, on top of that, you have, like, all these extra abilities to help you get into the combat, like, for example, Blink, or Phantasmal Killer, or Puppet Master, which, by the way, I think is an upgraded version of Charm Person, because let me read you this. One creature that you can see within range must succeed on a Wisdom saving throw or have the Charm condition for the duration. Magical marionette strings attached to the charmed creature's limbs or body, and it must use its action on its turn to make a melee attack against a creature other than itself that you mentally choose, moving to reach the target if necessary. The target can act normally on its turn if you don't choose another creature or if the creature isn't within the target's reach after its move. The target repeats the save at the end of each turn, ending the spell on itself is successful. On your later turns, you must take a bonus action to maintain control of the target or the spell ends.
Yeah. What I find fascinating, though, and this is something that I don't think a lot of people really realize, is that there have been some things that have been changed with the Eldritch invocations. And what one of them is, and this is interesting, because most people will go, oh, this is a warlock. Why would you ever want to do stuff like Vicious Mockery? Why would you ever want to do things with your cantrips? You're just going to Eldritch Blast all the time. That's not really a gesture thing. Nah. See, the reason why people say that is that it's the I can't speak today. The invocations used to just involve Eldritch Blast, which made sense why the Warlock would just use that.
True.
Now it's changed. Now it's any Warlock cantrip that deals damage. Agonizing Blast, you can add your Charisma modifier to it. Repelling Blast, you could shove them away. Or the other one, which allows you to drag them closer. You can do that too. I can't remember the name for that one because I never really use it. But but also investment of the Chain Master. There's the same aerial or aquatic bonus, the attacking familiar, but it can also deal necrotic or radiant damage now. There are things that have changed. And there's lessons of the first ones, which allows you to gain a origin feat. And it's repeatable. You can take more feats if you're like, I really don't want to do anything but take feats. But this is fascinating because if you think about it. Oh, and then of course there's Thirsting Blade with like Pact of the Blade. You gain an extra attack. And then at level 12, they added Devouring Blade, which confers 2 extra attacks rather than 1.
That's good. I like that they made that change to the invocations because, yeah, a lot of the time it was just for Eldritch Blasts, and now it feels like at least they're giving more room for stuff.
But, like, imagine you just insult someone and then you shove them 10 feet off a cliff.
Well, funny you should mention that because the other benefit we get at level 3, besides all those useful spells, is a little known ability called Killing Joke. And basically what that says is that you see the humor in everything. When a creature you see within 60 feet of you takes damage or fails a saving throw, you can take a reaction to cast Vicious Mockery on that creature, and then you can use this reaction a number of times equal to your Charisma modifier, which, thank God it's Charisma, because that's the Warlock's main stat. So thank God they thought about that one. And you regain 1 expended use on a short rest, you regain all on a long rest.
Okay, I'm just going to say this.
Mm-hmm.
That's a reaction of a fucking Eldritch Blast. Because a lot of people will go, oh, well, that's not really an Eldritch Blast. Vicious Mockery is just 1d4. Yeah. Plus your Charisma modifier, which, again, Eldritch Blast would have had that anyways. But also...
Actually, it got an upgrade.
40%.
It got an upgrade, actually. Vicious Mockery is now a 1d6.
Okay, so it's 1d6, so that's even better. Mm-hmm. That's 60% of your Eldritch Blast rolls. So unless you're rolling 7 to 10 all the damn time, you're doing Vicious Mockery damage.
And the best part is that you can still take Eldritch Blast for your turn. This is like a reaction, and all you have to see is someone fail a saving throw or take damage. So your rogue could deal like a sneak attack critical, and then you could just like ha ha ha, he got stabbed. And then they get the bonuses from the invocation, because it's not casting a version of Vicious Mockery, it's just casting Vicious Mockery, so you can then repel them, pull them closer, you can have them take extra damage. That just makes this a really good ability.
Oh my god, there's something that I didn't realize.
What's that?
all the ones that used to be just for Eldritch Blast, they're repeatable. You could take it for Eldritch Blast and Vicious Mockery. So just have like a charisma modifier one for your reaction for Vicious Mockery, and then go, haha, I made you joke, and you missed me. Now you're going to regret missing me. And then you Eldritch Blast with the same strength. Holy shit, I didn't realize they were repeatable. Holy shit.
So yeah, that's really powerful for the warlock. And all right, so my level. Go ahead.
Sorry, I just have one other quick thing to say. If this was a 2014 warlock, it would be pathetic. But because it's a 2024 warlock, it is fucking amazing.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I think you only need to take like 3 levels of this subclass, and you've already got a pretty decent handout of stuff. Because I think by level 3 by level 2 you get the Eldritch invocations. So you could have Eldritch Blast level 1, and then by 3 you take the Vicious Mockery stuff, and Vicious Mockery is a cantrip. So Eldritch Invocation then will apply to those ones on top of the Eldritch Blast. So yeah, by level 3, this is a pretty high damage class, not taking into consideration anything else you might multi-class into, but still.
Yeah. Then there's level 6, which is just the Chuckles feature.
Oh god! You're not even wrong. They knew what they were doing with this, because we all know the main character that came out of Legends of Avernus is Chuckles the goddamn clown. This is Chuckles' class. This is everything Chuckles wishes he could do in the campaign.
Yeah. So there's Flower Spurt, which you spray a strange liquid. Don't like how they include the word strange there.
So for the record, one thing to keep in mind is that all of these have to be passed by a charisma saving throw of your spell save DC. And these are curses. So I just want to make that clear. You don't get these things for free, but you get them pretty damn close for free too.
Yeah, like curses, they need to have like lesser restoration or like remove curse, which is like a ridiculous investment for an NPC character.
Yeah, they're not going to do that.
That would be like very specific. There's Flower Spurt, which gives you the blinded condition. There's Clown Shoes, which is speed is halved and disadvantage on ability checks or saving throws that rely on dexterity. Hi there, Fireball.
Honk honk.
Which is they can't benefit from the invisible condition, and they're audible out to 100 feet with every movement, no matter how slight. So not only can you not benefit from the invisible condition, your stealth rolls are done.
Yeah, the rogue will hate you for this.
Then Jolly Arms, which is take on a comical appearance. The target deals half damage with weapons attacks and unarmed strikes, which, you know what? The monk is going to kill you for that one when it's done.
Oh, it gets better. Read the rest of this, because this is a fun one.
Such as Fangs and Claws, takes on a comical appearance. Curse lasts for 1 minute. Lasts for a whole minute. Oh god, they're gonna kill you at the end of that.
Oh, it gets better, because you get these back on short rests.
Oh god. They are going to... Okay, I'm just going to say this.
Mm-hmm.
This is the class you play if there's an annoying player at the table, and you just want to annoy the fuck out of them.
And basically, yeah, they take... So, for Jolly Arms, they also take half damage with weapon attacks and unarmed strikes. Yeah, the monk's gonna kill you after this. If you're fighting a monk bad guy, he's gonna be like, "What did you do to my arms? They're now balloons! Why are they balloons? Because I felt like it, you bitch."
Then level 10 is Mocking Banter, which is just like, hey, was your Vicious Mockery not enough? Here, take more.
Oh, okay.
Like, if you're vicious...
So, basically, so, let me clarify that one, too, because I really need to clarify this, because this is how I'm reading it. When a creature damages you, you can take a reaction to force the creature to take a wisdom saving throw against your spell save DC. On a fail save, they take second damage equal to the triggering damage you took, or half as much on a successful one. So basically, it's like, oh, that hurt. Now I hurt you. Wait, what? Oh, how did you do that?
And then finally, there is Send in the Clowns, which is 3 ghostly fools. They're translucent and intangible. They are your worst fucking nightmare. Because they can make up to 3 melee spell attacks on a hit. The target takes 2d10 psychic damage and just has the frightened condition or the prone condition. And remember, there's 3 of them, and it does not mean that it does not say like, oh, each clown can only do 1 condition, or the 3 of them can only do 1 condition. You could make them prone and fucking frightened right away.
And not to mention, you can combine that with Eldritch Blast, Vicious Mockery, knock them on the ground, hold person, and then just have them get beat up by spirit clowns.
God, what a way to go.
And then, okay, so there's really not much else to describe with this class, because there's really not anything we could use to describe this class. This is meant to be a joke class, but a class that is meant to be strong and pull jokes on you. This is Chuckles the Clown. This is what Chuckles the Clown got if we turn him into a D&D character from Legends of Infer... No, I take that back. Chuckles the Clown is a D&D character, but if we turn Chuckles the Clown's whole persona into a class, this would be Chuckles the Clown, and Gideon would be cursing us for playing this one. Chuckles, I think you were just a really terrible clown.
But also, there's something very interesting, though. And this leads me to be like, oh man, I might want to play this class later and not have it be a clown. And now most people go, what the hell do you mean, not a clown? It literally is the Great Fool Patron. Look at the foolish personas. There's a Harlequin, there's a Jester, there's a Joker, there's a Mime, there's a Sad Clown, but there's also a Tramp.
Ah, Vaudeville Clown, got it.
But that's interesting, because that leads you down a role of like, oh, you're not just like a hee hee ha ha ha. You are someone who is a performer first. And you can play into that hee hee ha ha, or you can take another direction. I'm just going to throw this out here. I'm just going to pull up something really quickly, because I have a really unique combination with this, and this is going to blow your mind. Okay?
All right. Always love when we have class builds on the show. What do you got?
Okay. So this is combining with a critical role one. So we're getting like a crossover of third parties here.
Yep.
So one moment. It's in Taldore Reborn. This is one of my favorite books. And this is for a bard subclass, so it plays perfectly. Like, bard warlocks are scary.
Oh yeah, because they both were. Never mind. Go on. I cannot seem to talk today.
Yeah. Yeah. So here's the thing. You then can play into the College of Tragedy. So, the College of Tragedy, I'm just throwing out here a build. We're going to go 3 levels in each. So we're not doing something extreme, we're doing 3 levels in each. Okay?
Okay.
So for the Great Fool Patron, we're going to take that as the base class, and then we're going to rock with the multi-class being the Bard, which makes sense, because you got chosen to do it, and then you learned how to do it well.
Fair enough. I like the backstory.
So, the College of Tragedy is exactly how it sounds. The power of tragic storytelling. So imagine you chose the Sad Clown or the Tramp with this one. Something that really fit. So, your first ability is Poetry and Misery. When you join the College of Tragedy, you learn to harness the beauty in failure. Whenever you or an ally within 30 feet of you rolls 1 on a d20 for an attack roll, an ability check, or saving throw, you can reuse your reaction to soliloquize and regain 1 use of your Bardic Inspiration feature, which combined with how the Great Fool Patron at level 3 basically has like Disguise Self, Hideous Laughter, Rope Trick, Spiritual Weapon, and Vicious Mockery, like a toolkit. That's an extra tool in your kit. If someone fails, you can soliloquize and be a little fool about it, and you gain back a use of something really important. And it plays into that character. But then you have Sorrowful Fate, which is you exploit a foe's peril to instill deep feelings of sorrow and doom. When you are an ally you can see, focusing on you for this one because we're not relying on the party for the moment,
Yep.
Forces a creature to make a saving throw. You can expend one use of your bardic inspiration to change the type of saving throw to a charisma save instead. Now here's the thing. Vicious Mockery used to be charisma. It's now wisdom. So you could change that right back.
Oh, yeah.
But what makes it very interesting is if the target fails the save, you roll a bardic inspiration die, and it takes psychic damage equal to the result. So it takes additional damage. And if the target is reduced to 0 hit points during this time and can speak, they are magically compelled to utter darkly poetic final words before succumbing to their injuries. You are making the DM soliloquy. They are going to hate you. So combine that with the mime who's already pissing everybody off, and you're just having a fun time. And this is a character of tragedy.
I'm going to be honest, I was not expecting that much detail to come from a class that was literally designed by an in-joke from Chuckles the Clown. But I can see it, and I actually could... Okay, alright, so I think we're all in agreement. I think Great Fool might be the contender for the best class of Crooked Moon.
Yeah, and what's interesting is that it still keeps going. I could go down the rest of it, and when we go to Tal'Dorei, and we come to College of Tragedy, I'm going to be bringing it back to this class, because everything that this class has is... A Grateful Patron is the joke of it, but every joke needs its build-up, needs it in context. Humor by itself is meaningless, and we both know that.
Well, that's a good point. But you know what's even better than one new patron for a warlock?
Two
patrons for the warlock, and this one we got the Horned King. Okay, so we went from the Great Fool to the... Now we're getting into the cultist-like warlocks. And right off the bat, I'm going to tell you this right now. I know exactly a combo that's going to be really bad, but I love it because... Cheddar, do you see what one of the third level spells is?
It's our animal friendship.
No, it's spike growth. We're talking about spike growth.
Oh god, not spike growth.
Oh yeah, and that's a prepared spell, so you actually have access to that at all times. So, what do? You take the one Eldritch Blast that pushes, you take the one Eldritch Blast that pulls back, you put them in the middle of the spike growth world, and boom, you have the Infinite Blunder attack for the Warlock. And you don't even need a multi-class this time.
You just go, wee!
Ow, 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 spiky spikes. But that's just the first thing I'm going to mention. So, in the world of Crooked Moon, the Horned King is basically supposed to be like the major devil of the world itself. It's supposed to be the representation of Satan. So, this is the Satanist class, for all intents and purposes. It's actually also like supposed to be like the Mark, because you have stuff like the Witch's Mark, you have Spiteful Curse, Crown of Horns, Crown, and Gather the Coven. So this is basically supposed to be like you're playing a witch. We don't really need to go over the curse of the spells. My god, my brain is like digesting the food I ate for dinner. So like now all the food is kicking in and making my brain go. But you get stuff like
it's going sluggy.
Brit, yeah, but basically, like, this is because you're supposed to be a witch with this class. All the stuff is basically based on witching stuff, like scrying, polymorph, phantasmal killer, fly, bestow curse, all of that. And I like that. It's a very thematic set of spells, don't get me wrong.
You know what I find interesting?
What's that?
I'm gonna say this. This is a counter to Hydrangea's character.
In our campaign, how?
Because it's magic. It's magic of nature used for evil purposes.
I wouldn't really say it's nature magic. I think it's more like, well, I don't know.
It's very close to it. It's very close to it, especially because of, like, animal friendship and the other spells that warlocks can have. Like, warlocks can have some pretty awesome spells, but also they can have the familiar, which is a bit closer to nature, but also one moment. I'm just going to quickly check their spell list because if there are some other nature spells, that could be kind of interesting. Because let me see here. Yeah, there's mold earth. There's shape water. There's. I did not know that warlocks has shalaji.
I didn't know that either, but actually kind of makes sense.
There's beast bond. There's create or destroy water. There's entangle. Holy shit. They really are a nature class. There's. Holy shit. Okay, cool. One moment. I'm just going through. Yeah, they have stuff like yeah, there's Expeditious Retreat, there's Earthbind, there's Flock of Familiars, there's Spider Climb. Yeah, this is someone who is there's oh, my favorite spell, Counterspell, Dispel Magic, Remove Curse, Magic Circle, Vampiric Touch. Yeah, the Warlock really is their Spirit of Death, Hallucinatory Terrain, Elemental Bane, Banishment, Charming Monsters. It's not like a druid or ranger where they're interacting entirely with nature for nature's sake, but they do have contact with nature.
Well, that does make it so like they're like not druids, but they're like druids who failed out of beekeeping school, basically.
Basically.
So anyway, let's move on. Yes. Sorry, go ahead.
And also, it's bestowed the power of witchcraft by the beast that stalks the deepest woods and darkest hearts.
The Horn King, yeah.
Like I'm just going to say this right now. That is someone who lived in a nature group like the Selesnya and wandered the fuck off one day. Probably not on purpose, but they found a way in, and it did not work out very well. Or it did, depending on their opinion.
Well, I'll say this. Whether or not they have access to nature spells, that may be the case for this subclass, but that's not what they're really known for. So we're going to start with their third level ability, and I think this is actually kind of interesting. It's called Witch Mark. When you finish a long rest, you can imbue magic into a non-magical tiny object you're holding. Choose one of your prepared warlock spells that has a casting time of an action. A creature holding the marked object can take a magic action to cast a spell using your charisma modifier, spell attack bonus, or spell save DC. The mark fades when the spell is cast on it or when you finish a long rest. Essentially what this is you are giving your allies one free spell of your prepared spell list. And that is a very dangerous thing to give. Now, they don't use their stats.
Garson. Mm-hmm. Going into your spike growth razor, that's it in one turn.
Yes. This is why I said it's a dangerous thing to give your allies access to magic, because what this essentially means is that it basically means that you don't need to waste your turn to set up anything. You could just be like, okay, here is a magic coin. If you use the magic in this coin, it will summon a spike growth ability. And with it, there will be a field of brambles and spikes of which we will infest our enemies. Why am I giving this? Because I'm not going to do anything my first turn except use Eldritch Blast, and you're going to waste your turn to set it up so I can deal a lot of damage. Okay. And this is actually pretty good for a class that doesn't typically do something at the start of the fight. Like, for example, the Cleric. Clerics usually are like a mid to late combat specialty where they're casting heals or buffs or stuff like that, unless they're like a war cleric, in which case they're already going to run in there smacking someone with a hammer. But like, again, depends on the domain. Same with like rogues. They typically want to set up their attacks and deal massive damage for their sneak attacks, but they don't usually do much on their first turn except prepare. And if they have cunning action, they can just cunning action hide and then use this use their action for this and then hide afterwards. Which is really nice. I like the fact that you can do that once per long rest. It's really good.
It's really good.
Now, the one thing I don't like is that you have to use a tiny object, but that's really kind of a nitpick. You don't really need to worry about that, because I think, if I remember correctly, like a piece of coin is like a tiny object, right?
Yeah, it's like a coin or a stone or whatever, and it's just like, hey, don't lose this shit that I'm giving you. That's obviously magical.
Now, again, you are the one who's using the stats for the spell, so don't think... So basically, it's like, I give them the spell, then I would click on it, or I would roll it normally, and then it just basically goes from there. I don't use a spell slot, I don't use anything else. They don't even use up anything except their action, which means that the action economy can be really abused with this ability.
Oh, yeah.
There's really not much else to say about that ability, but I do like the fact, but it's very rare that we have the ability to, like, basically time compress spells for later. And that leads to me to the next level 3 ability that we get called Malediction. Or Malediction, I don't know if I'm saying that right.
Yeah.
And we're back with more curses.
Hooray! Curses for everybody! No, we mean that literally, for everybody!
So, basically, you call on the Horn King's Malice to manipulate luck and fate. As a magic action, you can curse a creature you see within 60 feet until the end of your next turn. Alternatively, when a creature within range targets you with an attack spell or an attack roll, you can take a reaction to curse the target of your choice with one of the curses below. Use this feature a number of times equal to your charisma modifier, minimum of once, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. And the curses are Agony. The target has disadvantage on its next attack roll or Constitution saving Constitution to maintain concentration. Hate. The target has disadvantage on its next Intellect, Wisdom, or Charisma saving throw. Your choice. Rot. The next time the target takes damage, it takes an additional 1d10 of necrotic damage, and it can't regain hit points till the end of its next turn.
Combine that with the meat grinder? Oh, boy.
Not to mention also with the Necrotic Grim Harbinger from earlier. That would be great. Basically, that means that you deal more necrotic damage.
Yeah, just go fuck you in particular.
Alright, so I'm going to say Agony. Agony is number 1 because it gives disadvantage on attack roll. Rot is number 2 because it's extra necrotic damage, but it's really close to number 1 because it prevents regaining hit points. Hate is number 3, but it's because it's the most situational of the 3. Like, because Int, Wisdom, or Charisma saving throws are good. I don't dispute it being a good ability, but I will say it's like, your party determines if you're going to use that. Like, you're not going to use Intelligence, Wisdom, or Charisma saving throws if your party consists of barbarians, basically.
Yeah, but if it comes up in a situation, it is number 1.
Right. But because of it's situational, I'm just saying overall, it's the third best one on the list overall. That's my message on that one. That's all good. It's all good stuff. I don't really hate any of them. And at level 6, it actually gets an upgrade. So it gets an upgrade really quickly. Alright, when you use Malediction, you can now cast Bestow Curse. Oh. Once without using a spell slot. Oh! As an action or reaction for that feature, and you regain the ability to cast it when you finish a long rest. If the target succeeds on its saving throw against a spell, you can use the use of this feature isn't expended yet! Oh, I love that! I love that it's not expended if they pass the saving throw.
Yep.
Okay, when you cast a spell this way, its range becomes 60 feet. It lasts 1 minute with no concentration required. If the target succeeds on its saving throw against a spell, choose one of the Malediction curses, and the target suffers that curse instead. Oh. Okay. Oh, wow. Wow. I'm not going to lie, Chitter. That's pretty damn good.
Oh, yeah. That is the definition of, do you wish to fail immediately and not be dealt a fucking curse?
Well, the thing is, it's the literal spell Bestow Curse. And so if they if they fail the saving throw, they get bestowed curse on, and if it does successfully pass the saving throw against the spell, then I choose one of the malediction curses, which I get up here, and I get to suffer that as well. So even if they pass it, they still suffer something, and I don't lose that feature because they didn't pass it. At least that's how I'm reading it. I don't necessarily know if it's like, okay,
I think that's how it's meant to be read.
Well, no, because the way I read it, it can be read two ways. If it fails the initial saving throw, I get the feature back because it wasn't expended. If it passes the subsequent saving throw after the curse is bestowed, it saves against the bestow curse, but then it gets a malediction curse to replace it. So you're not really losing a curse. You're just losing the main curse, and then you have the subsequent curse to follow it. Either way is fine. Yeah. I just want to make sure that I'm reading that right, because if you could,
that checks out.
Yeah, because
honestly.
Because if the second version was they failed that saving throw and then you got the use of it again, then I'm just gonna say this is just basically an affliction warlock from World of Warcraft where I always want to keep a curse up.
Oh yeah, this is the. Oh, you thought I was harmless, didn't you? Fuck you.
Yeah, this is the damage over time warlock from World of Warcraft. Only difference is that it's not as damage over time in the damage step, but like the subsequent making the enemy weaker to everyone else, which is kind of what the Affliction Warlock in WoW did, just without the ability to deal damage over time with dots, which I feel is a little sad, but I get it because keeping track of damage over time sucks. No one likes doing that unless it's automatically calculated. I know it and you know it.
Yeah, yeah, I can't even defend that. That's just, oof, it's brutal, man.
Well, I'll say this. Either way, it seems like the curse feature is pretty good. I like it comes at level 6. This is definitely a level 6 ability, because one of the biggest weaknesses Warlocks have always had is that they don't get access to a lot of spell slots. They get them a lot easier than most because they get full restored on short rests, as opposed to having to wait long rests to replenish all the spell slots. But they only get like maybe 2 or 3 when they hit max level, which is the sad part.
Yeah, but it plays into the difference between short and long rests. If it's a short rest campaign, your Warlock is carrying you.
Yeah, and you still get the ability without needing a spell slot. So, I mean, if they pass it, great, and you have to take a long rest. If they fail the saving throw and this curse happens, you get bestow curse for free. If they pass the saving throw, you don't lose anything. You just have another chance to try it again. And if they do succeed on the saving throw after the bestow curse, then you give them an malediction curse, which, honestly, if I'm reading this right, there's no saving throw against the malediction. You have to have the curse play out, basically, which means that really does benefit malediction with the bestow curse ability. So yeah, I really like it a lot. And now we have the last two abilities, and I know we're rushing through these classes, but you gotta understand, these ones are really short. There's just not a lot to them at this point. But they have a lot of good concentration stuff. Like, number 10, Crown of Horns. Okay, this one I am really, really, really on the fence about, but I think it's kind of cool. But here it goes.
Just one moment. You talk about the ability, I will be right back.
Alright, I'm going to read the ability while Chitter Detective is running off for a second. So, Crown of Horns. As a bonus action, you can manifest the majestic mind of the Horned King for 1 minute. For the duration, a visible mark appears on you, such as a crown made of horns surmounting your head, or you grow giant antlers. You gain the benefits listed below. Once you use this bonus action, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest, unless you expend a pack magic spell slot to restore it from your use of it. I'm going to talk to Chitter about that one, because I think they're talking about like your Warlock spell slots, which would make this really powerful, but I need to be sure of that. First bonus, Dark Heart. On each of your turns when you damage a creature, that damage, the target takes an extra 1d8 necrotic damage. Great. Extra damage is always good. King of All. You radiate an aura of power that's a 20-foot emanation that originates from you. When you activate this feature, and at the start of each of your turns, you choose a creature you can see in the aura. The target must succeed on a charisma saving throw against your spell save DC, or suffer one of the following effects of your choice until the start of your turn. Enticement, they get the charm condition. Wickedness, the target has disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks. Terror, the target has the frightened condition and must move away from you to the safest route during its turn unless there's nowhere to move. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty powerful for a 1-minute bonus action, because that's about 10 rounds where you can basically inflict very powerful status conditions on them without basically needing to worry about anything. And I still need to double check this about the pack magic spell slot, because the way I'm reading this is you can expend one of your own spell slots that warlocks have that come back on a short rest and to regain this ability. So in theory, I think you can use this up to about 3 times before you have to take a long rest, or 3 times per short rest, unless of course oh, hey Chitter, real quick, are you back?
Yeah.
Okay, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's up?
So in order to determine if this is a really good ability or not, can you confirm that pack magic spell slot is a warlock spell slot that you get on a short rest?
Yeah.
Okay, then yeah, this ability is fucking broken, because here's what happens. Basically on a bonus action, yada yada yada, I already read it, but basically you get 1 minute of bonuses. You get Dark Heart, which makes all of your damage abilities deal 1d8 extra necrotic damage on top of their base damage, and you get a 20-foot emanation sphere that basically allows you to inflict conditions like Charmed, disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks, or Frightened. And they have to pass a Charisma saving throw DC, or they suffer the effects. Now, the reason why I said this was a broken ability is because you can use it only once per long rest unless you expend a pack magic spell slot to restore use of it, which basically means that you can expend it 3 times per short rest to keep using this ability. And I thought that was pretty good for a level 10. This isn't even the capstone ability. This is just like the penultimate ability. But because pack spell slots come back so quickly, you don't get a whole lot of them. I say there's a good chance that you could use this the first time, expend like most of your magic, and then use your last spell slot, and just use Eldritch Blast after that. That's how much powerful I think this ability is.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, especially because you don't lose anything. You just need to use a bonus action. Hell, you could set this up and then start using your main damage abilities. It's pretty broken for that ability.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Now we come to the capstone ability. I'm going to level with you guys. The Crown of Horns was pretty good. This is just so silly. Not bad silly. I'm going to let you guys do the judge if it's a good ability or not, but it's silly. Okay, Chitter, hear me out. You share the Horn King's power with those you deem worthy, and you perform a 1-hour ritual, which can be done during a rest, forming a bond with the 6 willing creatures that must remain within 10 feet of you during the ritual. You can end the bond of any number of creatures, no action required, and the bond ends when you die. The bond grants the following benefits. Witchcraft! Choose one of the curses from your malediction feature. The bonded creature should now use that reaction option once, and they regain the ability to do so when they finish a long rest. Fly by night! As a bonus action, choose one of the bonded creatures. If you and the target are within the same plane of existence, you magically teleport to the nearest unoccupied space next to the creature. You can use this benefit once, and regain the ability to do so when you finish a short or long rest. If your Crown of Horns feature is active when you use this bonus action, it isn't expended. Hand of the King. When your Crown of Horns feature is active, the first time a bonded creature challenges a bonded creature challenges another creature during its target, the target takes an extra 1d10 of necrotic damage. You turn your party into a coven of witches.
God damn, Neko's gonna love this class.
I'm gonna level with you right now. I don't consider this a great capstone ability, but I don't consider this a bad ability either. This is a fun ability.
Yeah, this is definitely this is the capstone ability. It's as a capstone, but for the class, it's perfect.
Yeah, I would say, like, I'm glad Crown of Horns comes at 10, but Gather the Coven is basically, alright gang, listen, I just got talk from my patron. We're gonna form a coven tonight! Wait, what? I bet the paladin would be like, okay, we're killing her now. Pulls out the great sword. But the thing is that these are benefits that you can give to 6 of them, and I kind of like that it gives that about, because first of all, if it was in our party, I guarantee you we would sit Waver out of this, or someone out of this, and go, sorry, you can't join the coven, only 6 plus me.
I don't think Waver would be upset.
No, but I do like the fact that it basically gives them a reaction that they can take, a teleportation ability, and they get 1 extra d10 of necrotic damage on their first attack. And it seems like this doesn't really go away. It replenishes when they take a rest, which is actually kind of unique for an ability like that. I don't know. I don't think it's a bad ability per se. I think it's good. It's a good ability, but it's not a capstone ability. But it's also not a capstone ability. It's a
Yeah.
I don't really know what to think of it. Do you have anything you want to add to it?
Nothing really. I think it's good.
I think so too. I think the Warlocks came out pretty well on this one. I'm going to give this a solid 3 out of 5 flumps on the flumpometer for the Warlocks. But the Great Fool definitely was the better of the two, just because it has it has a lot of options early on, and later on it even becomes more powerful. But Horned King is pretty good too. If you want a different type of playstyle, it's okay. It's an okay class.
E.
All right, now we'll talk about the bitch boys of magic. Oh fuck me, no, not again. Cheddar.
Yeah.
It's wizards. We gotta talk about wizards. Yay. Yay. I'm so happy to talk about wizards. Yay.
Do you want me to?
Yes. I've expunged my ability to be happy, so go ahead. It's up to you now. But I think this one's actually something you might like.
Okay, so the Occultist. This is the first time I'm kind of seeing the wizard classes for myself, so I'm going to be kind of reacting to it in real time. So I'm probably going to have a clip or two of me doing a Garson and not reading ahead a sentence or two ahead.
Finally, now you know how I suffered.
It's called learning to read, but anyways, moving on.
Shut up.
So Forbidden Knowledge is the first ability. In your study of prescribed power, you learn deep speech or another language of your choice. Also, you have a level 1 spell from the Warlock spell list. You always have it prepared. You can change that chosen spell when you finish a long rest. Okay, I actually kind of like that, because deep speech is going to be if you're choosing deep speech, you're going into a campaign that needs it, or another language of your choice. And then you can have a level 1 Warlock spell, which is basically a feat in itself. Like, let's be fair, that's a feat.
Yeah, I would prefer if it was like a cantrip so we could get Eldritch Blast, but I mean, a level 1 spell is fine.
But here's the thing. It doesn't it's a little bit better than a feat. Because again, D&D is a game of if it's not included, it works as it originally is. Meaning that you can have spells that can scale, and you can use those scaled spells as well.
True.
Like say for example, you had Charm Person or Hellish Rebuke. Like, those are spells that, Hellish Rebuke is the Warlock one, specifically just a Warlock spell. Well, normally, as a Warlock, you would only be able to cast that twice per short rest. If that. Maybe once, because you're using other spells, and you're not in danger always.
Well, I do like the fact that you have access to one spell that you don't have to worry about your spellbook being destroyed and losing everything.
Yeah, but it gives you a tool. But here's the thing. Not only do you have a tool, you have spell slots. When it comes to level 3, you are already doubled the amount of spell slots that you have for a level 1. You have 4, and then you can upcast it twice. You have 6 compared to 2. Meaning that you are using it 3 times as much, and yes, you have to do it every long rest. But that is 2 short rests to get to that long rest for it to be equal. 2 of them.
Hmm. Well, the only thing I find a little bit saddened about this is that while you do get it for free, the gimmick of the wizard is they have a spell book that they can inscribe any spell they find on a scroll into it. So they're really not locked behind class specific spell lists. They can just find it might take them a little while, but they can always find like a scroll of Hellish Rebuke or a scroll of what was the other one, Charm Person, and then inscribe it in their spell book and then have access to it. So
Right, but they get it for free, which is really nice.
yeah, and that's like 50 gold that they potentially would lose out on, so that's good. But here's the thing.
For level
Go ahead.
level 3 character alone, that's a significant amount of gold.
That is true.
Let's just be very fair. Now we come up to the level 3 ability Intrusion.
Okay.
So, if I may,
Go ahead.
I just go through it?
Yes, I'll say what I'm going to save until afterwards, but go ahead.
So, your search into the Forbidden Reaches beyond the universe yields your search into the Forbidden Reach. Okay, I did not put the proper pause on that one. Your search into the Forbidden Reaches beyond the universe yields great power, but comes at the risk of letting someone from beyond intrude upon your reality. Yeah, that checks out. You have an intrusion die, which starts at a d6 that can change as you use your features. The die can increase or decrease along this progression of die size. Holy shit, there's a d2. Holy shit. d2, d3, d4, d6, d8, d10, d12. Hey, what's that d3 doing there? This is supposed to be all even numbers. Get the fuck out. The size maximum for your intrusion die is its starting size, which increases by 1 step when you reach levels 5, 11, and 17. D8, D10, D12, which means you just gain more power. When you use a feature that risks an intrusion, roll your intrusion die. On a 2 or higher, no intrusion occurs, and the intrusion die reduces in one step on the progression. Okay, so that checks out. Okay, cool. On a roll of 1, the intrusion die rises in size 1 step, and you roll on the intrusion table to determine what happens as reality fractures. Intrusions use your spell save DC. Oh, so you're just fucked by yourself. Okay, cool. Your intrusion die increases in size by 1 step up to its starting size when you finish a short rest, and it resets to its starting size when you finish a long rest. Okay, so the reality is going back to normal. Additionally, you can focus alien potency into your spells. When you cast a spell using a spell slot, you can risk intrusion to choose one of the following. Overwhelming Mind. One target of a spell has disadvantage on the first saving throw made against it. Seeking Eye, you have advantage on the first attack roll. Okay, so that just basically gives you advantage for everything. And intrusions are, until the next turn, you can only, if you roll a 1, you whisper incomprehensible things to your soul. Until the end of your next turn, you can only do one of the following: take an action, bonus action, or move. Space twists. Each creature, including you, in a 30-foot emanation is halved until the end of your next turn. The nearest creature within 60 feet of you must succeed on a Constitution saving throw, or take necrotic damage equal to 2 rolls of your intrusion die, which would most likely be an ally because you're a wizard and you're not a blade singer. Reality tears in your space until the end of your next turn. You and each creature that can see the tear must succeed on a wisdom saving throw against yourself, or have the frightened condition while the terror exists. One of your arms warps into an alien appendage. You can make unarmed strikes using... That's just a good one. Okay, reality ripping apart is cool. 6. Alien landscapes overlay your vision, giving you the blinded condition. Oh my god, I'm going on an acid trip. Unnatural thoughts disorient you, giving you the incapacitated condition. Oh my god, I took shrooms. You experience an instant of terrible clarity. You take psychic damage equal to 2 rolls of your intrusion die at its starting size. Oh god. And for 1 minute, your spell save DC... Okay. Your spell save DC is increased by 2 by taking damage. That one's a give or take. 9. You regain an expended spell slot of level 5 or lower. For 1 hour, you hear whispered and body thoughts of hateful scorn directed at you. While you can hear the whispers, you have disadvantage on ability checks and saving throws that rely on wisdom. God damn it, insecurity! Stop breaking reality! And 10 is the giving you and each creature for the prone condition for a minute. 10 is telling you to fuck off. 12 is an aberration or fiend with the CR. Oh, equal to your wisdom level or lower appears in an unoccupied space within 30 feet of you, the GM determines the creature's attitude, hostile, indifferent, friendly, and actions. You would probably roll the D3 to see what you get there, because that would be just the fastest way to do it. And
Okay. Okay, can I just point something out that I'm reading this? This seems like a much more dangerous version of wild magic.
I love this. This is fun.
I love it too. It's definitely more dangerous than wild magic, though.
Yeah, but all I'm going to say is this.
Mm-hmm.
This is a wizard that they are packing a punch. They are going to town. And oh baby, this is a class that's genuinely fun.
Now, did you read what Reality Tear's first ability is?
I was just reading the intrusions because it mentioned it
Oh,
first
okay.
as well.
Well, let me just say this. Reality Tear is actually pretty broken. Well, not broken, but it can be broken. Trust me.
Choose a spell of level 3 or lower from the Warlock spell list. So now we're getting into level 3 spells. Excuse me for a moment. I need to look at some shit.
From the Warlock spell list.
Yeah, I'm just looking at that. Oh my god. Okay, cool. That is terrifying. Because again, it gets rid
better.
of concentration.
You
can risk intrusion to remove the need for concentration, and the spell ends after 1 minute or its normal duration, whichever is shorter. Garson?
Mm-hmm.
You do realize that a level 3 Warlock spell that is very, 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 very easy to get is, summon lesser demons.
Also, additionally, you can cause an automatic intrusion and increase the dice size 1 up to its starting size to cast a spell without a spell slot and regain the ability to do so when you finish a long rest.
Hunker of Patar, there's Hypnotic Pattern, there's fucking Fly.
Blink, Gaseous Form,
And again, there's no concentration on that. So fuck you.
Oh my god, Gaseous Form without concentration? That would be great. I would risk tearing open a fabric of reality for that.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is, I love this intrusion mechanic because, okay, the odds are you're probably not going to cause intrusion. Like, very unlikely. You have to roll a 1 on any of the die. And let's see, you're at level 6, right? So that means that you would be on a D8. Basically, okay, you would have to have, like, just starting on the long one, it would basically mean that you would have... Oh, wait, I just realized something. You have to roll the intrusion table for that to do it free without the spell slot. So there is an opportunity that you might summon a fiend to you.
Yeah. So just holy shit.
That's a lot of risk, but there's a lot of reward to it.
Oh yeah.
Also, I don't think you really need to worry. And then obviously you can always do the intrusion for the overwhelming mind seeking eye combo to get advantage or disadvantage on the first spell you make against it. So there's always that too.
Garson?
Yeah.
Going down to level 10, it gets more terrifying.
Well, fuck it. Let's just go down to number 10 then, because we already covered the intrusions.
Level 10, Occult Presence. When you cause an intrusion, you can roll twice on the intrusion table and choose which result to use, and you can negate it outright by gaining 1 exhaustion level.
Wow. So basically you could be like, fuck you, reality, and force of will it.
Yeah. Additionally, you gain 1 of the benefits below, and you can change the benefit when you finish a short rest. As a bonus action, you can cause an automatic intrusion and increase the dice size 1 step up to its starting size to change your chosen benefit. Alien Consciousness. You gain immunity to the charm and frighten conditions, and you can't be possessed. Cosmic Resistance. You gain resistance to necrotic and psychic damage. Spatial Domination. You gain a fly speed equal to your speed and can hover. So fuck you in particular.
So if I'm reading this right, you gain a bonus benefit every long rest that isn't tied to the summoning the warping of reality, and then you can warp reality to change it before your long rest.
Basically.
I'm gonna be honest, I'm just taking the fly thing because, like, being able to fly. But then again,
it really depends, because
yeah,
if there's a thing in there where you can't do that, it makes sense. Also, I do love how it can be like, hey, you always have the spell prepared, and you can cast an automatic intrusion and whatnot. And I don't know why, but I find it so funny that warlocks can have both counterspell and dispel magic. So if you're like, I don't want to have both of them, I can have both anyway. Fuck you, reality.
I gotta admit, this feels like this is supposed to be a warlock, but you don't have the patron, and you're tempting the patron to be like, okay, what the fuck are you doing down there? And he just comes in and takes a look like, hey, wait a minute, you're not one of mine. And he just starts smoting your ass afterwards. Because that's what it feels like. This feels like we are using warlock powers, but we're not having a patron to sign our soul away to. So the wizard's trying to cheat the patron.
Okay, I'm just gonna say this. This definitely feels like they took a look at the Great Old One and said, you know what? They're not doing anything with the lore of this fucking thing anyway. We might as well make a wizard of it.
Pretty much. And then the last ability is Beyond Space. The nature of distance and location is revealed for the lie that it is. You always have the scrying spell prepared. You can cast scrying and can risk intrusion and choose one of the following. All-knowing, treat your connection to the target creature as if it was part of its body. All-seeing, cast the spell as an action instead of its normal casting time. When you cast scrying during your spell's duration, you can cause an automatic intrusion and increase the die size 1 up to its starting size. To teleport yourself and any other willing creatures within 10 feet of you to an unoccupied space you can see through the scrying sensor. Once you teleported this way, you can't do so again until you finish a long rest. Okay,
and by the way, Garson.
No, I was going to say something. Yeah, go ahead.
Scrying is not just within the same planet as you. It's the same plane as you.
Oh, God. Okay, so
imagine doing that in the fucking astral sea.
You know, I was going to say something about this not being a great capstone ability, because while scrying is very powerful, it just doesn't seem like, something I would consider a capstone ability. But then that last bit happened. And basically, you're tearing a hole in reality and go quick! I can only keep the portal open for so long! What is he doing? We're going through it to teleport to where the bad king is so we can stop him and save our world. And no one's questioning how the wizard is doing this? No! Okay! Just teleport right to where the bad guy is. Yeah.
Garson? Garson?
Yes.
I'm just going to say this.
Yes.
Also scrying. If you know the target well, they have a -5 to save modifier, and if you have a body part, lock of hair, or a bit of nail, they have a -10 to the save modifier. So if you manage to pluck a hair, you can just go, I can see you, and then go, I'm here.
No. You don't even need it because all knowing gives you that benefit without needing to part of the body.
Yeah.
And if you do have
they have a minus.
Yeah.
They have a -15.
Oh God. No. Okay. Well, you only get one or the other. But I do like the fact that basically if you do have a lock of hair, you can then use all-seeing to use it as action speed and then warp the party away. So it's a mass teleportation that you can do for the cost of an action. Now, granted, you probably will open up something and probably summon a demon. No, I'm not letting that go, but I do like the fact that it is something you can risk. I like this ability. Yeah. I also feel like this is such a weird ability, but it's like wizards are supposed to be like the epitome of studying magic, so this is like something I would assume they would be able to pull off. And do you have anything else to add to this one? Because like I'm just gonna call this a 4 out of 5 flump class. I hate to give that to a wizard, but like I don't see any other thing we can do because the intrusions are fun. I like them. some are, like, the first half are pretty good, the second half are pretty bad, and there's a little bit more bad than good, but they're still all got their uses. You can choose to automatically have them happen to basically gain additional benefits. You do get better stuff as you level up, and you are still a wizard, so you gain the benefit of the spell book, so you always have access to magic. And I like the fact that at least it gives you 2 spells that you'll always have prepared, even if you lose your spell book. So that's always a good thing.
Yeah. Just good God.
Yeah. All right. Well, and what's better than one wizard is the philosopher, another wizard. I'm gonna be honest. I don't really like this class. It's pretty bad.
The philosopher. Let's take a look here. First you get alchemical supplies, and you have proficiency with it and can use it as an arcane focus. Additionally, you can use the alchemist supplies instead of the normal tool to craft a magic item. Okay, that's kind of useful. I like that. That's a good starting point. So, quintessence. You've learned the fundamental process of dissolution. You know the dissolution cantrip, which is that's...
Yeah, I'll read that.
Oh.
So I'll read that. It says, you touch a creature or non-magical object and break the object down to its most fundamental components. Make a melee spell attack. On hit, the target takes 1d8 of force damage, and its AC is reduced by 1 against the next attack roll against it before the end of your next turn. And it upgrades per cantrip levels, so at 5 it deals 2d8, at 11 it deals 3d8, and at 17 it deals 4d8. That's actually not bad for a cantrip. I mean, it's a melee cantrip, so, you know, not always going to be able to cast it, but it's pretty good.
If the target was small or larger, it dissolves into a measure 1 ounce of crystalline powder called quintessence. You can have a maximum amount of quintessence equal to twice your intelligence modifier at one time, minimum of 2 measures. If you create more, the oldest measure vanishes. You can use quintessence you are touching in the following ways. Material component. When you cast a spell, you can expend quintessence to service the spell's material components up to a value of 100 GP per quintessence expended. Oh, that's good. When you scribe a spell into your spellbook, or when you use alchemist supplies to craft a magic item, you can expel quintessence to service 50 GP worth of material for the task per quintessence expended. I really like that, because you can basically turn people into spellbook. That is awesome. And when you cast a spell that deals damage, you can expend 1 quintessence as an additional material component to change 1 damage type the spell deals to force, which not a lot of things resist force, if any.
No, I think it's actually the most ubiquitous. That's why Magic Missile is so good. It deals force damage, so I don't think a lot gets resistance. I think the only thing that does is like...
So basically, the dissolution cantrip, you could take like a fucking box and go, I am going to turn everything I know into magic missiles if you don't get the fuck out of my way. That is fucking awesome.
What I like about it is that essentially... Okay, by the way, I know exactly what they're doing with this. This is the Full Metal Alchemist class from Full Metal Alchemist. I love the references to this. The problem I have with this is the dissolution cantrip. Not that it's a bad ability. I think it's pretty good. But, like, you're basically running around going to, like, okay, box, turn into quintessence, pot, jug, anything in the room I can't sell, I'll turn into quintessences, and then I'm going to use it to inscribe stuff into my spell book, which basically means that I'm going to have access to a lot of being able to put those spells in early that I wouldn't normally be able to get, and that's going to be really beneficial.
Look, all I'm going to say is people enjoyed it when Link did it.
Yeah, no, you're true. All right, next up is Albedo.
You can purify your quintessence to amplify your spells. When you cast a spell slot, you can expend 1 quintessence, which is different from Crimson Sorcery because you can have up to double your intelligence modifier.
Right.
To increase the level of spell slot by 1.
Whoa.
To level 9.
Whoa, wait a minute. Time out here for a second. Hold on. Are you telling me that if I have... Alright, so I can have up to 10 quintessences at one time if I have a 20 in intelligence. Not counting feats or anything that I've taken. Let's just say that's the baseline. Okay.
Garson, before you say anything,
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna read the next line, and it's gonna terrify you.
All right, go ahead, because I want to hear this. But let's see what the next one is real quick.
The maximum quintessence you can expend in this way on a given spell is half your proficiency bonus rounded up.
Okay, so I'm going to be honest. I'm glad they put that limitation on there, because I don't think by level 6 I should be able to cast Fireball at level 9 by breaking down pots and pans. Oh my god, I love the fact that I picked time magic for my class. I think I'm gonna multi-class into this as well.
Like, just fuck you in particular. Like, for one quintessence, you can just go, oh, wizard, no fireball. Hi, I am the ultimate fireball. Fuck you. Oh, why are you using a level 9 spell? You only have so many of those. It's a level 6 spell. Fuck you.
Sorry about the dog in the background. I don't know what's going on with him. I think my girlfriend's playing with my dog, and she's making him howl. Anyway, sorry about that, folks. But oh my god, I love this, because essentially it means that if I upcast Fireball at level 6, and then I use three quintessences, my proficiency bonus would definitely be around level 3 at this point, so I can bump it up to 9. I get to basically summon the fucking sun for the equivalent of a 6th level spell slot, which I probably won't have at level 6, but it's a possibility. And then
let me just look at this really quickly, because I'm going to look at Wizard 5e 2024 so that we can get the spell table, so that we can know just how busted this is. So level 6, you only have level 3 spells. So, and your proficiency bonus is a 3, so you'd be able to bump that up to a 6 right away.
That's still pretty good.
And then level 7, you go to one level, you get to 4th level, and you can bump that up to a 7.
Oh, I mean, granted, you still have to manage your quintessences, but I think given the fact that you can use that disillusion spell, I'm just saying.
Garson.
Yeah.
Level 9. You have a 5th level spell slot and a +4 to your proficiency.
So at level 9, I'm casting 9th level magic for next to nothing.
Oh, it's maximum quintessence you can spend this way is half of your proficiency bonus.
Round it up.
So that'd be 2. So that would be the 7. So that would be 7. So then, wait, I think I did my math wrong then. Round it up would then be 2. So that would be 5 at level 6. That'd be 6 at level 7. 7 at 9, I think, yeah. Because, yeah, that would round up. And then, when do you get your next proficiency bonus? 13, so 13 would bump that to... Yeah, at 13 you're casting... At 13 you're casting, fuck you magic. At 12, 13 you're casting level 9 spells.
Wow. That's still pretty good. I mean, all you gotta do is manage your quintessences, but since objects... I mean, okay, so, like, basically, I love the fact that it says objects in there, so, like, for example, a box would have, like, 5 HP, basically. I use this to solve it into quintessences, and then now I have whatever this shit is, and then I can, so basically I can turn boxes into spell slots. Great. Fuck, this class may be a little bit too crazy. Moving on to let's move on to the level 10 ability, because we kind of covered everything about Albedo. This one is called... Crytenius, I believe it's pronounced. These are all basically alchemical terms, but I'm not gonna fucking know how to pronounce it.
You always have the creation and fabricate spells prepared.
Oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me!
You can cast each spell once without expending a spell slot.
Oh, fuck you, game! Fuck you!
Oh, and Garson?
Yeah, I know.
All you need for creation is a paintbrush And for fabricate, you don't need anything.
Can I say something, though? Actually, you don't even need the paintbrush because the quintessences can be used as components as a material component.
Yep. Also, additionally, when you cast creation, you can expend a number of quintessence up to your intelligence modifier to multiply the spell's duration +1 plus the amount expended. So that's a minute plus.
So I can, in theory, make an 11-minute creation with that spell if I have 10 quintessences.
No, wait. That's 1 minute to cast it. Oh, shit. To multiply the duration by 1 plus the amount expended. So vegetable matter would be 24 hours to start times 2 is 48. If we're just doing 1.
Uh-huh.
Stone or crystals would be to 24 hours. Precious metals would be to 2. Gems would be to 20 minutes. And adamantine or mithril would be to 2 minutes.
Oh, Jesus. Waver can never know about this class.
And then, fabricate is just, you make shit.
Creatures and magical items can't be created by the spell. You also can't use it to create items that require a high degree of skill, such as weapon and armor, unless you have proficiency with the types of artisan tools, or if we have proficiency with alchemist tools.
Exactly.
So we don't even need to worry about that. Be like, I really want to make a magic shield. But if only I was proficient in... Oh, wait a minute, I have this goo. This is all I need to be proficient with. I'll just pour the goo in. Oh my god, this is just fucking Full Metal Alchemist, the class.
And then 14 is the capstone.
Rubetto. Okay. The culmination... Okay, I'm just going to level with you. I read what this ability does, but I'm going to let you read this first, because you're going to love this.
Go right ahead, Garson.
Alright.
I'm gonna let you scream.
Oh, I'm not going to scream. I'm just going to be like, are you kidding me? Okay, so, the culmination of your great work, you can now distill your perfected knowledge of existences into a physical form. When you finish a short or long rest, you can expend 10 quintessences to create a Philosopher's Stone, a translucent red crystal. The stone is a tiny... Okay, guys, come on. That's clearly the Philosopher's Stone color from Full Metal Alchemist. That's what this is. A tiny magical stone with an AC of 19. It has 20 hit points. It is immune to all damage except force. If you create a second Philosopher's Stone, the first one vanishes. While you carry the stone, it grants you the following benefits. Amplification. When you cast a spell, you can expend 2 quintessences as an additional material component to increase your spell save DC by that spell by the same amount. Equivalent exchange. When you fail a saving throw, you can take a reactive to expend 5 quintessences to succeed on a save instead. Longevity. You stop aging and don't suffer any effects from old age, including dying from it. You found out how to make immortality out of pans. Sympathy. The stone counts as part of your body for the purpose of scrying spells, and for spells that restore you to life if you die. The stone itself serves as the material component for the spell, if any, and it's destroyed when the spell is cast. Okay. What the goddamn Kentucky Fried Fuck is this?
You become basically a lich without needing to go through the necromancy shit.
Okay, why do liches need phylacteries if this class exists? Guys, listen. We need to talk about this lich. You know, his phylactery is somewhere. If we can't find it, we can't destroy it. Bill, what are you doing? Oh, you know, last night I was thinking real deep and I realized something. I can turn all of our cookware into a Philosopher's Stone. Let me get on that. And you just see him like... You just see him, like, take 10 forks and spoons out of the cabinet drawer. Just the bad ones that are bent. They're probably a little worn and they have rust on them because they've been in the washing machine too long. And Bill's just sitting in the background working the cantrip spell. And eventually, after, like, 8 hours, he's got a tiny red jewel he put into a necklace around his neck. And he's figured out his immortality from spoons. I can't be mad, but I can't love this either. It's like, there's a part of me that's... My hatred of wizards is so high, but I'm looking at this and I'm going like, Jesus Christ, at least they gave him an identity. But what I really love about this is that this is not an artificer class. This is everything the Artificer wants to do. This is like the perfect Artificer subclass, but they gave it to the Wizard.
Okay, can I just say this?
Yes.
I love how they made disabled people have this class. Read number 2 for Philosophical Pursuits.
You suffered a debilitating ailment or injury and turned to the study of magic, deconstruct the impairment's nature, and transmute it. God damn it, I busted my spine and I can't walk again. Not on this watch! I'll cure it with pots and pans! No, I'm not letting that go! It'd be one thing if you were against living things and you had to kill, like, squirrels and shit. I would understand that. But because this spell works on objects, it breaks down anything, and all you need to do is deal 5 damage, and you find the essence of life in a box, and take 10 of those, and you can make a Philosopher's Stone, and if you got that, you fucking stop aging. I get it. I get that it's meant to be for gameplay purposes, and I get that, and I'm not really mad about that. But the implication is that the secret to life is just the metal that was used to make your macaroni and cheese. Holy crap. Okay, I need a minute. I need a fucking minute after that one. This is supposed to be like this is an Artificer class. I'm gonna say this. This is an Artificer class, but without being an Artificer class. This is what would happen on that. But I will say this. This is an alchemist. This is a straight up alchemist. This is not a philosopher. This is not Henry VIII discovering longevity like the art depicts. This is a straight up 1-for-1 alchemist class. Everything about this is alchemy. It's all about alchemy. It has nothing to do with any other reasons but alchemy. I get it. I respect it. But oh my god, don't pretend this is not what it is.
I love this.
I can't hate it, but I also am just like, I'm against it on principle.
Hey, Garson.
Shut up.
Hey, Garson.
Shut up.
I'm gonna make my backup character this.
I hate you. I hate you. I hate you.
And remember, we roll for stats.
I swear to God, if you get another fucking 20 and you put that in the intelligence, I'm gonna fucking watch you next time.
You did last time, and you saw it.
I know. I did. I got nothing else to add to you.
Nope. I think we're gonna have to call it here because fucking hell.
I know. But we got through them all. That's every other subclass we missed during our break. We've officially reviewed all the subclasses. Oh, and for the Philosopher Wizard, 4.5 flumps out of 5, I guess. I'll be generous. I can't hate it for a class because it's got a really cool gameplay mechanic. I love the fact it's got its own signature spell cantrip. I love the fact that the cantrip actually serves a purpose outside of combat. I love the fact that it's like all types of different random shit, but it works. And the capstone is definitely a capstone, so like it's gonna get some love out of me. But mother, that is meant to be an Artificer class if there ever was one. But we are gonna call it here. Next time, we're actually gonna dive into the world of Crooked Moon, talk about the settings and everything, and discover some of the locations, some of the story beats, all of that. Because now that we've actually gone over the subclasses, we can tackle the rest of the stuff at a pretty decent pace. And I'm glad we're finally going to be diving into more stuff of Crooked Moon that's not the subclasses. And hopefully we'll be back to a regular schedule starting next week.
All right. That was awesome.
Yep. All right. And if you're watching this, remember, if you like what we do, please drop a like, follow, and subscribe. You can catch us every day. Every day we stream on twitch.tv/GarsonBavel, twitch.tv/ChitterCharmer, and you can also check us out on YouTube/GarsonBavel, which is where we're watching this video currently. If you are watching this, check out our YouTube Shorts for updated stuff for our spell list for guidance, and of course the highlights of our streams, because we play a lot of RPGs on this channel, and we like to go over a lot of stuff. Hopefully next week we're going to be back to a more regular schedule. That's my hope, and I think we'll probably be able to do that. Anyway, yeah, that's everything I had to say.
All right.
All right.
Good grief.
All right. So for me at the Forgotten Table Tales and me at the table, our session is over. Now, for the love of God, please go wash your Cheeto fingers in the sink before you touch my cards. All right. And that's it, everyone. Good night.